Good afternoon, everyone. I, Haritika, welcome you all to the meeting number 1 of Spearhead Toastmasters Club. I welcome our guests present in the room and our YouTube audience. I am Haritika, the Sergeant at Arms for the day. The mission statement of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. To ensure this, please follow certain ground rules. Please ensure all your cell phones are on silent or switched off mode. You have 10 seconds to recheck. Okay. We don't prohibit, rather encourage speaking responsibly on topics like religion, sex, or politics in speeches. Use the feature of raising hand, applause, and thumbs up when needed. Don't use Zoom messaging in between the speeches until required. Until not required, please put yourself on mute during the meeting. If you are playing the role, no need to recheck whether you are audible or not. One of us will let you know if your sound is not coming or breaking. Please make sure all the role players have added role name as prefix and real name as suffix to the username of the meeting. You have 10 seconds to recheck and implement if missed. I think all of us have done that. So now let me hand over the stage to our presiding officer, Surbhi Mittal.
Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms Haritika, for that wonderful introduction and opening the meeting on a high. So I hope you might have found something peculiar there right at the very beginning. How she opened the meeting. Welcome to Spearhead Toastmasters meeting number 1. For many of you, it might be new. For many of you, you may not have the idea, but just to give you a small context, as most of us know that we are meeting at this time by the name of Turning Point on Sunday. But from today, it is my proud privilege and delight to announce that this Sunday initiative of Turning Point Toastmasters has now become a full-fledged Toastmasters Club. Yes, you heard me right. The Sunday initiative has now itself become chartered right yesterday itself and by the name of Spearhead Toastmasters. So congratulate yourself, you can all the members and the inaugural executive committee of this club. And I must also congratulate and thank Turning Point Toastmasters for sponsoring their the younger sister Spearhead Toastmasters. I would like to also just share that we have this endeavor not only to work out uh, as a close tie with Turning Point Toastmasters going forward, but also more importantly, try to develop more leaders and grow as a club and individual alike. On that very positive note, I congratulate once and everyone again and welcome you all to the first ever meeting of Spearhead Toastmasters. Now coming to the meeting agenda, yes, we have a very special Toastmaster of the day, but before I invite him, let me also acknowledge the presence of esteemed guests today. We have distinguished Toastmaster Padamkumar joining us, right? And then we have Toastmaster Kalpana joining us from Kota. Deepika Sohal joining us. And we have Vishant Chaudhary joining us. Surbhi Mittal joining us from Ludhiana. Tarandeep Kaur joining us. Sumit Jain joining us. And I hope I'm not missing out anyone else. But yeah, I welcome you all once again and let us kickstart with the meeting without much ado. I'm sure many of you have already seen the poster. It says fearless contemplation of our future. I was a bit surprised as about that choice of topic. It was indeed a brave one, I thought, but that at the time, a very extraordinary topic chosen by none other than our Toastmaster today. I'm sure you are going to have a joyride today, along with a lot of learning, as I welcome the treasurer of Turning Point Toastmasters, but who has been a very diligent person. And we recently learned that how trustworthy that person is. So let us welcome with a huge round of applause the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rajesh.
Wow, Presiding Officer, thank you. It is my privilege to become a captain for this Spearhead meeting for the first match. Thank you. I promise you will never be bored throughout this meeting. Well, in the very first Toastmaster meetings, how many of you felt nervous and did not deliver the speech properly? Can you please raise your hand or give a thumbs up symbol? Wow. I was thinking that I am only the victim, but it is not the case. Many of us spend a lot of time acting out of fear of the past or the present. And in doing that, we affect each other and the larger society. We create a culture of fear. When fear comes up, we are upset and worried also. See, I can give my examples in 2020 during this pandemic times when my previous company they asked me to put the paper. That time I was more worried. How can I survive? And you know, this times there is no openings. So I was thinking that how can I survive? And I don't have enough contingent assets. All my family members they are depending on me only. When I started preparing the interview, all negative thought comes to my mind. And slowly I've lost self-confidence. The first interview which I have given, though I know everything, but I could not answer a single questions. Then I went on a depression also. And with all these negative thoughts in my mind, one thing leads to another. Similarly, the cycle works with the positive thought also. Talking about the positivity, in a Toastmaster meetings, one segment leads to another. A typical Toastmaster meetings comprise three sections. We have prepared speeches, where the speaker prepare their speeches in advance and deliver their prepared speeches. After that, we have a fun sections. That's called we call as table topics. Today, table topics is headed by Toastmaster Hannah, which I'll call her in the due course of time. In these sections, when the guests and Toastmasters who have not got chance to speak are invited on the stage to speak on a topic instantly. Last but not least, we have evaluation sections. When everyone get a chance to improve their skill. So today, the evaluation section is headed by my mentor, or I can tell the coach, Toastmaster Ragini. When I asked Ragini, what makes her to overcome the fear? Like a leader, she said, she is always to face the fear to overcome all it. Now, I would like to Ragini to be spotlighted so that she can talk about her role and her team.
Thank you, Mr. Fearless Toastmaster of the Day. I was hydrophobic. I still remember the day when I was 8 and my swimming coach took me in the deep end of the swimming pool. I literally scratched his arms because I thought he was trying to murder me. But actually, it was not him or his tactics which I was scared of. It was my own fear. And can anyone here tell me what does our fear invariably take control of? Our mind. So similarly, that fear was not about the coach or his tactics, it was in my own mind. Because logically, I was already inside my fear zone in the swimming pool, shallow or deep end, doesn't matter, but I was not ready to accept it. Speaking about acceptance, I have a designated team of evaluators with me who will help you accept your fears and how to champion them gracefully. I request the tech master to spotlight the role players as I introduce them and their responsibilities. To make our communication concise, we have the timer Toastmaster Urfia. Please display the cards as I announce it. Toastmaster Urfia. Every prepared speech section is subjected to a time limit of 5 to 7 minutes. You see this green light at 5, yellow at 6, red at 7. There is a 30 seconds grace period on either side. Every table topic speech is subjected to a time limit of 1 to 2 minutes. You see the green light at 1, yellow at 1.5, and red at 2 minutes of time. Again, there is a 30 seconds grace period on the upper side. Lastly, we have the evaluation section, which is subjected to a time limit of 2 to 3 minutes. You see the green light at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3 minutes of time. And there is a 30 seconds grace period on either side. Next, to make our communication clear and free of any filler words, we have the R counter Toastmaster Rama. Toastmaster Rama will make the note of pauses, repetitions, sounds, and fumbles like ahs and ums, filler words like you know, so, I mean, etc., used by speakers and role plays. To make our communication correct, we have the grammarian Toastmaster Ayushi. Can we please spotlight Toastmaster Ayushi? Thank you. So Toastmaster Ayushi would note down the good usages of this beautiful language and also let us know where could we improve by noting down not so good usages or grammatical errors made by speakers and role players. Also, she has to introduce the word of the day, and I would pass the stage to her to introduce the same.
Thank you, Ragini. The word for today is yearning. That means an intense longing for something. Like, he felt a yearning for mountains, and we all were yearning for a new Toastmasters club. I would recommend everyone to use this word of the day throughout the meeting. Over to you, Ragini.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayushi. So with this, I would present my evaluation report towards the end of the meeting, and I pass on the stage to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rajesh.
Thank you very much, General Evaluators, for that afflictive introduction to the sections. When fear and anxiety become a pattern in our lives, they become a problem. For example, if there is a drain cloth in the kitchen sink, is a problem, right? Do you ignore it? No, never. Of course. So you can call a plumber or try to fix it yourselves. When the fearfulness causes harm to your physical and mental stability, and you find yourself avoiding things that might create more fear, don't ignore it. When anxiety becomes a devastating thing that leaves you trembling and sick, don't try to push it away. Learn how to overcome fear and anxiety. So to overcome this fear, let us now begin with the first speech, which is prepare the speech. Our first speaker is going to evaluate by Toastmaster Samridhi. So when I asked her, how do she overcome the fear? Her answer is very simple. It depends on the type of fear. If fear on the delivering the speech, so immediately she talk with the mentor, and in general, she try to calm herself down by reading something good or simply sitting and meditating. Now, I invite her to the stage to the read speech objective of the first speaker, Eshvary Gaur.
Hello.
Toastmaster Samridhi. Thank you.
I just would like to have a quick audio and video check. Am I audible as well as visible?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be evaluating Eshvary, speaker number 1. The purpose of this speech is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. And I'll be evaluating him on the basis of the structure and delivery. And it is his icebreaker speech. And I request the timer and the general evaluator to kindly note that the time for his speech is 4 to 6 minutes. And I wish him good luck for his speech. And I hope he overcomes his fear of public speaking in the first speech itself. That's all. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
May I request Toastmaster Eshvary to be spotlighted? Eshvary, can you please do a quick audio video check?
Yeah, sure. Am I audible and visible?
Yes. Yes, you are audible and visible. So, okay. By introducing our first batsman, I mean the first speaker to the stage. Eshvary, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So, Eshvary, the wolf of Haryana streets. The wolf of Haryana streets, Eshvary.
Good morning to all fellow Toastmasters. Myself, Eshvary Goyal. This was me in my 7th standard. Every time I speak English, I would be as shaken as the last man left after deadly earthquake. I'll come to that later. But before that, let me address something which could be more icebreaker than my name itself. I've spent my life hearing people pronounce my name Eshvary, Eshvarya, Ishwar, and half of the documents with me are by the name of Miss Eshvarya. Yes. Even in the today's agenda, it was written in a wrong spelling. Till 10th standard, I used to hear, Eshvarya Rai, Eshvarya Bachchan, and then I say it's Eshvarya Goyal. And the meaning of the name is prosperity, wealth, and fame. Even I would say it's not an icebreaker name. It's a friend-making name. Fellow Toastmasters, let me give you some glimpse of my life through this speech. Every time I reach somewhere and start enjoying that phase, destiny manages to give me some new challenges, which I resist initially. In starting, it was a problem to handle such cycles, but now it's a part of life. To justify this statement, let me share some short stories. Up to 6th standard, everything was very good, happy, and calm. But then I was enrolled in a new school named Oxford Public School. It was a brilliant school. I was a brilliant student in my previous school, but all that brilliance came to an end here. This was not the problem that I entered a new institution. The problem started when I came to know that we have to pay 1 rupee fine every time we speak Hindi. Every time we speak Hindi. So I had to make sure I come up with the idea to save my pocket money first. So instead of learning English, I followed up a strategy, which is when you can't be a tiger, be a wolf and hunt in pack. I gathered fellow students like me and found a new way of communicating, which was who need words? Why to use words when expression can do the job? And our group started reacting in a very, very weird way. And we used to communicate like this. Yeah, this is how we were interacting on those days. But all this act of saving money converted us into introverts. Being a notorious kid, I was a frequent visitor to principal's office, but was afraid of speaking English. Then not only he made me learn English with extra classes, but that he turned me even more notorious. Because then I have nothing to fear about. I was again in my la la land. But and this time, me with my pack was not just hunting, even I was killing it because we were more fearless and without the fear of speaking English. As rightly said, history repeats itself. All this was going very well till 10th standard. I passed with flying colors. Not only this made me a school celebrity, but also made my family believe I will create wonders if sent to a more prestigious school. And here begins the new doomsday story. I got into one of the prestigious schools of my state, named Jindal Modern School, JMS in short. Everyone was very happy. Everyone, including my family, my friend, the only sad person was me. Not only I have to join a new school, but I have to leave my hometown. Let me give you a glimpse the way my classmates used to speak in JMS. They will be like, hey, Eshvary, how are you? I'll be like, fine. Eshvary, do you know? My dad went to USA. He bought me an expensive watch. And I'm like, my dad went to Ahmedabad. He bought me a Monopoly. That's all. That is if you are part of GMS, you have to be aware of everything, every movie, every brand, every city talk you should be aware of. It was very hard to keep up with that. But anyhow, I managed to pass my 12th with my pack. After that, we got scattered away and the wolf was lone again. Then I took admission in Delhi University with the yearning hope that DU will groom me and will convert me into a fine gentleman. But the picture was that exact opposite of that. Not only students were fighting for the caste-based politics, but instead of focusing on their studies, they were busy in fest, parties, election, or bodybuilding. Oh, sorry, not bodybuilding, bodybuilding. And as any other normal child, I got influenced too. I ran for the post of president in my final year, but I lost the election by 4 votes. So I opted for the umbrella strategy, again, which was to be a wolf and hunt in a pack. I met like-minded people where we all supported each other and lifted each other's spirit and indulged myself into social work. My story is still in progress and it's unfinished, just like Priyanka Chopra's. But I figured that in life, in your life, you don't have to be a lone hunter like a lion. If required, join a community. In fact, create a community of fellow hunters and like wolves and see the power of being in a pack. Thank you, Toastmasters. Rajesh, over to you.
So we should give a standing ovation to Toastmaster Eshvary because he is giving the icebreaker speech. Now, I may request a moment of silence for the audience to write feedback for the speaker. Timer, please show the red card once in 1 minute over. Wow, thank you. Thank you, timer. Now, move on to our second speaker. Before I call the second speaker on the stage, I would like to call her evaluator. May I request evaluator to be spotlighted, please? When I asked Toastmaster Haritika, how do you overcome the fear? She smiled. I understood. Her unique mantra is smiling. Toastmaster Haritika, can you please read the speech objective of second speaker Arunima?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Second speaker, Toastmaster Arunima Bindal, is going to present her speech from Level 1, Project 3, Research and Presentation. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn and review basic research method and present a well-organized and well-researched speech on any topic. All the very best, Toastmaster Arunima Bindal, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
May I request Toastmaster Arunima to be spotlighted? Arunima, can you please do a quick video audio check?
Yes, I also have a request. So since I'll be using the screen sharing access, can I request timer to please send the time in the chat box, because I think we cannot share two screens at a time.
I will do that, Arunima, noted.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rufia.
Okay. I know our fast batsman gone. Now the Mrs. Dependables, Rahul Dravid, to be spotlighted. So when I am introducing to our second speaker, Arunima, are you ready?
Yes.
Arunima, 5S. 5S Arunima.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. In 2019, a month after joining my current organization, I was assigned one of the most important financial project when I was understanding the processes and function of a company as my manager resigned. As a new employee, I started working on the project with all enthusiasm to prove my capabilities. When I started going through it, I found out that I have no past experience with respect to the project assigned. It was in clusters without any trail of document. My dream of shining out shuttered. Being hopeless, I was looking for some project management ideas when I remembered that in 2017 I had attended a webinar on 5S. Since then, I have never used this 5S methodology. It was only in November 2019 in the project I tried to apply it. 5S is a system for organizing spaces so work can be performed efficiently and effectively. Basically, it makes easier for people to do their jobs without wasting time. The term 5S comes from the Japanese words Siri, Seito, Seiso, Saiketsu, Shitsuke, which is translated in English as follows: sort, set in order, shine, standardize, sustain. Each S represents one part of a 5S step process that can improve the overall function of a business along with the individual growth. It is considered as foundational part because until your workspace is clean and organized state, it is difficult to achieve good results. In 5S, we assess things logically. Let me tell you about how this method helped me out. I started working on the cash flow management, which is also related how I used the 5S process. I started with the cash flow when I had no idea, and since I was hopeless, I followed the first step that says to sort. How do we sort things? For sorting things, we need to answer 5 simple questions that are what, when, why, how, what. After doing that, I divided my project into simple questions as to where to start, what to do, how to do, and when to do. After managing these questions, I was able to start a project and it was in a good shape. Moving on to the next step, that is, after sorting what you need to do, you have to set the things in order. For cash flow management, both incoming and outgoing are important. But for outgoing, first we need incoming. After setting an order of tasks and understanding what's what, I started making up processes to arrive at a cash flow. At this stage, I focused on what was the most logical arrangement for me to arrive at the cash flow, which is similar to the second step of 5S that tells you to arrange the order of the project in the most logical way to reach the final step. Although it takes a lot of time, but once you do it, things will start to fall in place. The next step, what I did was I made the trackers to track the progress, which is also the third step of 5S, shine. I made some charts to track progress like Gantt charts and RACI charts that helped me to keep an eye of the project of the task divided as per the timelines. The benefit for maintaining the project ahead of time helped me to overcome the problems easily, resulting in less work stoppages. It might not sound exciting, but it plays the most crucial role. The fourth step was standardization. During standardization, what you have to do is you have to set a process so that you can follow it again and again. What I did to make the standardization, I created some standard operating procedures that are SOPs. Because I realized I have already invested man hours in planning the things, setting in order, shining it out. Had I been given the same set of documents or a standard operating procedure, it would have been easy for me to cope up and do the work within the given timelines. Realizing that, I created standard operating procedures to save the time, because once the process is new in a company, it looks exciting and everybody follows it. Within the time, gradually things slide back and creates a problem. That is why standardization is important, because it automatically systemizes everything to turn one-time efforts into habits by assigning regular tasks. So these activities becomes routine. Once it becomes a routine, you don't have to repeat all the three steps again and again. Moving on to the last step, which is sustain. The sustain literally means discipline. I had to set up targets, but what if the targets does not meet the actual? In finance, if your expected targets does not meet the actual targets, then the project fails, no matter how much amount of hard work or efforts you have put on. I was in the same situation. I was feeling hopeless, but I realized that I have to continue. Despite all odds, I continued, and it helped me achieve the Best Employee Award for my organization in the year 2020. 5S can become a part of the life once you follow it. I have also started using it in my personal life, and I have, from being a lazy person to now a more active person, because you can make a chart for the day activities, prioritize your time by setting in order, then you can follow that. And once you start doing that, it helps, because it says you need 21 days to make it a habit. Do try and let me know if it helped you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arunima. Definitely, as a project manager, still I believe I have to learn a lot of things from you, because this planning always I am failing, or the Gantt chart, all those things. Definitely, I can connect with you and see how can you help me on these ones. Now, may I request a moment of silence for the audience to write feedback for the speaker. Timer, please show the red card once the 1 minute is over. Wow, thank you. Now, move on to our third speaker. Before I call third speaker on the stage, I would like to call her evaluator. May I request evaluator Manisha to be spotlighted, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Rajesh. So I will be evaluating Speaker 3 Sonali Kathuria on her second project of Level 3. The purpose of this project is for her to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. Since inspiration is the primary objective of the project, a few parameters, specific parameters on the basis of which I will evaluate her include, but are not limited to: first, how comfortable the speaker will appear while delivering the speech, how she will engage the audience with interesting and well-constructed content, how well she will use the topic to inspire the audience, and the usage of verbal tone, speed, and volume as tools. The speaker has 5 to 7 minutes to deliver her speech. And with that, I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster of the Day, Rajesh. Over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you. So, now may I request Toastmaster Sonali, the most experienced player in this club, and all the match depends on her now. So, I mean the third speaker to be spotlighted. Sonali, can you please do a quick audio and video check?
Am I audible? 1, 2, 3, check.
Yes, you're audible and visible. Okay, so introducing our third speaker, Sonali. Sonali, are you ready?
Yes, Rajesh.
Sonali, how did I go from this to this? How did I go from this to this, Sonali?
Go from this to this.
If you have heard this song before, you know where I'm going with this. I went from weighing 75 kgs to 52 kgs in just 2 years. But what's important to this story is not what happened in those 2 years. Instead, what happened in the preceding 8 years. I was a normal looking kid. I wasn't, too fat or too skinny. I was not into sports or any kind of fitness. I mean, who is during their teens, right? But when I entered class 11th, I started putting on some weight. I'll blame the studies now, but back then I wouldn't have dared. It did not bother me or my family because I was getting A level scores, and that was the only motivation to survive. Not fitness and definitely not fashion, as you can see, but just good scores, like in any other typical Indian family. I remember one day my mom's friend was home and I greeted her and she looked at me top to bottom and just smiled. I later overheard asking my mom, "Oh, what happened to her? Are you not taking care of her food? She's just blowing up." Well, it did not bother me. My mom took care of her and replied, "Well, now she's getting a little bit healthy." And then thankfully, I never saw that woman again in my house. In 2013, I got admission to my dream college. I started living my life. I ate what I wanted, I ate when I wanted during those entire 3 years. And naturally, I became a little bit healthier. I had great friends. I was a part of a group with two other girls, and they were pretty skinny. So I was always referred to as, the fat one or not so pretty one by the outsiders. But that didn't bother me. My friends were always by my side. I knew what I was capable of, and that gave me the confidence to ignore the rest. By the time college ended, I was soon to start working for a company. I started earning, I was living the corporate life now, and I relocated myself closer to where my office was. So my mom was no longer controlling my healthy lifestyle. I was in charge of that. So in addition to I ate what I wanted and when I wanted, I also ate how much ever I wanted and from wherever I wanted. So in the words of my mom's friend, I now was actually started to blowing up. My clothes didn't fit me anymore, but that didn't matter, or that did bother me. I would end up buying new clothes and keep the old ones, just in case I get back in shape one day. Then, because I used to love traveling, I would have all these great travel goals for myself, like attending Rio Carnival Festival, watching Caribbean sunset, cycling in Amsterdam, and hiking up to Machu Picchu. Fortunately, the last one happened sooner than I expected in 2018. Machu Picchu is located in South America and is named one of the newest seven wonders of the world. It is amazing. I would see its photos and my eyes would scream. So when that plan started working out, I knew I wanted to hike up there. Me and my friends planned for a small but not an easy hike, which was supposed to last for about an hour. On the main day, I was all warmed up and packed and super excited for the hike. It started off well, but it hit me after 15 minutes that I cannot go any further. I was just not in the shape to do something like this. I mean, it wasn't impossible, but it would take me much, much longer to complete it. And it sure did. After 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours, we reached the top. I was so exhausted that all I wanted to do was go back home and sleep. I didn't care about the view or where I am or, woohoo, I finally made it moment. No, it finally bothered me that something that I've been longing to experience for so long was destroyed because I spent more time on my hike. I would stop after every 5 minutes, rest for some time, have energy drinks, and then get intimidated of all these other tourists who were passing by us seamlessly. And that was all the motivation I needed. 2018, my fitness journey began. I didn't care about my weight. I just wanted to be the true sense and the true meaning of what healthy actually means. And sure, the numbers followed. I went from weighing 75 kgs to 52 kgs in just 2 years. I was not becoming weaker, but instead getting stronger, both mentally and physically. Now, I'm not here to share my diet plan or workout routine. I am here to share my story with the hope that at least one of you would take this as the motivation you needed to start your journey. So, let's get to the meaty part of it. What might work for you? First, you have to start now, not tomorrow, not next week. And it's never too late to start, I get it, but now is always a great time to do it. Number two, start with doing what you love. Be it dance, yoga, running, sports, whatever it is that you can do. And once you get comfortable, mix it all up. Number three, have a buddy, a friend, your partner, your parent, anyone who can just show up to support you in this journey of yours. Four, know what you eat. Of course, don't go wild on tracking your calories, but curve down on your sugar and junk intake. We all know that. But it's harder for us to resist, which is most likely the case. Then start by exercising first, and then your body will automatically say no. Fifth, drink a lot of water. Most of the time, you're just thirsty and then end up binge eating. And water, not alcohol, not soft drinks, but water will do the trick. Most importantly, very important, be consistent. Don't follow this for a day and expect to get six pack abs. Until unless it becomes a part of your everyday routine and lifestyle, you will not be able to feel the results. And I'm saying feel because that is greater than seeing results. If you start by thinking that your goal is to lose 10 kgs of weight or get into the dress of yours, you're already setting yourself for failure. Start because it's more than just a number game. Start because you have to respect your body. Start because you need to stay fit for your future self. Start because you can and start it right now. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Sonali. Definitely, it helps me also. That speech, it's related to me. Last year, when I started, I reduced 8 kilo within 6 months of time. But once again, due to laziness, all those things, I again put my weight. Now, may I request a moment of silence for the audience to write feedback for the speaker. Timer, please show the red card once 1 minute is over. Thank you very much. So it is the first, it is now the voting times. May I request, yeah. I request all of you, please vote. Okay. So can you take a selfie, all of us? Please switch on your video so that we can take a selfie.
Who's taking the selfie?
I think Rama is taking.
Okay, I can take a selfie.
Yeah, please you do the Rupinder, you please.
I'll do that. Haritika, Arunima, if you can turn on your videos, and I'm saying please. Okay, here goes. Can we do a victory sign or something like that, or a thumbs up? Thumbs up also works. Victory, thumbs up. Okay. One of you can try digging your nose if you want. And that got the last out of you. Got it. Thank you.
So it is important to realize that everything we do, there is always a chance that it may fail. Facing that chance and embarrassing, it is not only the courageous, it also gives us a fuller, more rewarding life. There were many ways I reduced the fear of failure. So one is that analyzing all the potential outcomes. Many people experience fear of failure because they fear the fear that it is unknown. Remove that fear, considering all the potential outcome of your decisions. Second, learn to take more positivity. And third one is that the most important one, have a contingency plan. Likewise, I have seen many Toastmasters being afraid to speak on the table topics. I want you to take your step forward to overcome this fear today. With this, we now move on to the table topics. Our table topics is headed by Toastmaster Hena. She is the Iron Lady. When I asked her about how she overcome the fear, according to her, she would follow never say die attitude. May I request Hena to be spotlighted. Hena, now the stage is yours.
Thank you, our fearless Toastmaster of the day, Rajesh. That's an amazing, inspiring start. And apologies for the dogs barking in the background. Remember, if you're afraid of some fearless dogs or fearful dogs, this is your moment to condition yourself. Having said that, I want to make this table topic a fun and engaging session by inspiring you with having opportunities to deeply reflect on someone I personally feel is an epitome of true fearlessness. So I'm going to take a moment to share my screen and introduce you to the fearless Rajnikant. For those of you know, I'm from south of India and have probably grown old after having seen and heard a lot of Rajni stories, movies, songs, and many other things. While he's a national leader, I think it's important to know and understand that what has been his own journey in this process of being a fearless person. So I'm going to take this opportunity to take snippets of his life and invite my fellow Toastmasters for this impromptu session on speaking on topics which are closer to Rajni's heart. I would want to hear if there are any volunteers among our fearless tribe of Toastmasters who would like to raise their hands. Let's see. I can see the list of participants who have raised the hands. I have two. Yes, I am looking at Rupinder, who has raised his hand, and then I'll follow with Padma. Rupinder, are you ready?
I was born ready.
Which number would you want to choose, Rupinder? Which insightful undertaking would you want to take today?
I always go with 7.
Brilliant. Let's look at what's in store for you, Rupinder, at 7. Are you ready? Sometimes a king needs to prove why he is a king. Sometimes a king needs to prove why he is king. Rupinder, over to you.
I am a 70s kid. Many of you were not even born when I was born. And for some of you, I'm old enough to be your father. The difference between you and me is that when I was growing up, I had a set of parents who treated me like a cricket ball and themselves like a bat. It was almost like today it is my turn to play. And most of the times I had it coming. If you look at the kids of today, a kid will say, "Mom, I can't go to school today. I have a stomach ache." And the mom goes, "Oh, poor child, wait, I'll make you pizza." And suddenly the stomach ache will disappear. But The mom will cultivate a habit of pizzas today and noodles tomorrow and pasta day after tomorrow. My parents had a very simple cure for that. 2 tight slaps, and the stomach ache would start happening elsewhere. And I would find myself in the school. And I would forget all about the stomach ache. Another case. These days, kids, you tell them to get off one level more. In my times, we did not have these contraptions. We had the good old radio, and I would be listening to songs. And then my parents would come in, turn that radio off, one more song, 2 more slaps, and the radio would turn off. I was brought up with an iron hand. But let me tell you, I did not regret that one moment. Today, when I discipline my child, I tell him that you are way past the point where I would have gotten slapped for it. And I firmly believe that sometimes the lion has to assert that they are a lion, just like my parents did. Madam Table Topic Master.
Brilliant. That was definitely a brilliant take on why we need to be demonstrating who's the king. I'm sure your mom really enjoyed in those moments when she had to put a slap, but then now when she's reflecting on the fine gentleman you have become, I'm sure she's super proud. All right, so who's ready? I have Padma sharing an opportunity with us. So Padma, tell me, which number would you want to go? Talaiva is waiting, Padma. You're muted.
Number 15.
Number 15 for our Talaiva from down south. And Talaiva, crush your ego, then you will find who you are. Crush your ego, and then you will find who you are, Talaiva.
My way is a unique way, says Rajni. In Tamil, that would go Em Vari Tani Vari. Right from the beginning, I think, here's one superstar, Talaiva, Rajni, Chitti, Parate, Lungi dance, call it what you will. He has enthralled audience right from the time he came onto the silver screen. And if there was one unique aspect in his character, it was that he never let any of these things go to his head. I remember that there was an interview where he was asked, there are so many jokes about Rajni that are being talked about by people. Don't you feel hurt? Don't you feel insulted by all of these jokes? You know what Rajini's response was? Well, you know, my name is Shivaji Rao. It is the public who have called me by all these other names, whether it is Rajin, Talaiva, or superstar, or whatever. So if you are insulting the superstar mnemonic, you are insulting the people who gave that mnemonic, and you handle their reactions. I am Shivaji Rao, and I will remain Shivaji Rao for the rest of my life. What a brilliant person. What a brilliant character. What a great soul who could keep his ego aside and still achieve this stardom that even today, at this ripe age of 65 plus, there is nobody to challenge his control on the box office. Even the king of box office, Amitabh Bachchan, acknowledges that the first and true superstar is Rajini. And the response of Rajini is, Ellam avan seyal. All comes from above. I am nothing. That is what he does. Keeps his ego aside and achieves things. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Brilliant. Thank you, Toastmaster Padma. You definitely brought out the beauty of putting aside ego in this topic. Those of you who don't know, Rajni started with a very humble beginning. He's done all kinds of jobs. He's been a carpenter, he's been a coolie, he's been a bus conductor before becoming one of the highest paid actors in Asia, his second after Jackie Chan. All right, do we have more guests who have raised hands and who would want to experience the power and the fearless space of Rajni? We have Unique. Unique, are you ready? Let me share screen, Unique, so that you can see our amazing Rajni coming alive on the screen. All right, Rajni, fan Unique. Are you a fan of Rajni, Unique?
I have to say yes, otherwise you will find my body under a bridge.
Yes, I'm glad. So which number would you want to take?
Let's take 3.
Number 3, that's my favorite number, and he's our meditating Rajni. Let's see our meditating Rajni's advice. Make it happen, shock everyone. Make it happen, shock everyone. Unique, over to you.
Okay. Well, if you like, I personally would not like agree with this sentence in all contexts. In some context, yes, but in the things like that you really want in your life, you should not be doing that to surprise others. You should be doing for more better reasons, in my opinion. So if you want to make something happen, it should not be out of vent that I want to show people that I am capable of something. It should be more of an intrinsic journey for you, in my opinion. I mean, there are things that we do for outside influencing others, but I think the things that matter most in your life, be it the relationships you want to get into, or how you want to conduct yourself in relationships, or the work, or anything that really matters and that contributes to your well-being. I don't think we should be doing that to show others. It should be more like, okay, I know that these are my perceived limits and I want to expand these. I mean, obviously it's easier said than done. External motivation is far more easier than internal motivation. But I think for adding value to your life and like taking your well-being to the next level, it's more important that we do what we do to show ourselves and uh, to show it to the inner critic inside us, rather than doing it to gain the approval for others. So I think in most contexts, the things that matter in life, like the top priorities, you should be only doing because you really want to do it, rather than proving others wrong. Yeah. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Unique. That was a brilliant take on why we need to be doing things which we are truly personally very happy about or proud of, because they define us. You know, Rajni, in his first 2 years of his career, very start, he was only getting negative roles. Imagine how stereotyped and typecasted someone would have become. But see, he did, like what you said, Unique, just followed his heart and did his job to the true self, and here where he is. All right, so I have Surbhi and I have guest Deepika on. So Surbhi, I'm going to start with you and then invite Deepika and then Udit. All right, thank you. So can you see the screen and would you want to identify a number?
Yeah, I'd like to go with 1.
Number 1. Number 1, Surbhi, the boss, the number 1. Let's see. Do it for the people who want to see you fail, Surbhi. Do it for the people who want to see you fail.
Okay, so I'd like to ask all of you, have you all taken risks? I'd just like one hands up or maybe a thumbs up.
I got married.
Yeah, so like you all, I took mine as well. I clearly remember it was back then in 2020 when I had to start my own corporate journey. All my friends and all my other batchmates wanted me to go for a job that was more into communication and public speaking. However, I personally wanted to go for a technical job. Why? because somewhere I wanted to prove my parents that yes, I have done engineering and I have the guts to take that job. So everyone out there was not believing me or not trusting me that I can get into a technical arena. And I did it. There was a company that came and it was a small startup. However, the risk that I took to get into it was that there was no girl employee in that company. I was quite having a lot of self-doubts in myself, but then I thought that why not? I had to take this risk because I had to prove everyone who wants to see me fail, who wants to see me that I am going to somewhere that is related to my own comfort zone. I wanted to come out of it. I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to see whether I am good at it or not. So I took it, and today I am in some other company which is much bigger than that. And how did I got into it? Of course, from my previous experience, the experience that I gathered in that startup, and it gave me the hope, the skills that I needed to get into it. So I would like to say you all that come out of your comfort zones. Your comfort zones are something that concise you, that does not make you grow. You have to develop and you have to prove each one out there that you can do what you want and what your heart wants. You can do anything that makes you feel good, and you have to prove everyone who thinks that you can fail. Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Surbhi. And that was a very fearless take on a very difficult topic, especially when there are people out there who want you to fail. Thank you so much for sharing that wonderful insight. And I'm going to invite our next volunteer, Deepika. Deepika, are you ready? Which number are you choosing, Deepika?
So I will go with number 12. That's my birth date. So let's see what that
number 12, the fearless dancing Rajni. You know, Rajni has made some epic moves, but this quote counts them and summarizes all those epic moves out. I haven't failed. I have just postponed my success. Deepika, I haven't failed, but I have just postponed my success. Over to you, Deepika.
Thanks. So I would like to say that when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you will be successful. So success is that how you see this. So if you prepare yourself well for it and you give it a try. So there are two things. For example, if I give you an example that right now I am here as a guest, and this is my first time, second time that I'm coming here, and first time that I have volunteered myself for speaking in impromptu speech. So there could be two situations. One, that I can give it a try and being judged by people, and second is that not try. And so if I don't try, there's a situation, the answer is that I will always fail for that. But if I try, I might can win, and people might find that yes, she has spoken really well, she has come up really well, and she can do better, and they can and it's not for people as well, it's for myself as well, that I can build confidence in speaking. Because if I don't give a try, I will always fail. I only have one option. So yes, so I think success is that if you come up, speak up, and do your efforts, you will succeed one day. So I will say that, if you try once, twice, thrice, you should continuously doing a try. You should make your first step, which is a try, and you can go ahead and win in time to come, and you will be successful. So I think that's all that I would like to say for now. Over to you, PTM, Hina.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was definitely wonderful. Yes, you should try, and you will succeed only when you try. That's definitely true. A fun fact, did you know Rajnikant did not know Tamil? He actually was born and brought up in Maharashtra, and hence probably spoke Marathi and had a mother tongue of Kannada. He literally learned Tamil and new language in a new industry and established himself. Surely, I truly agree with you. I had Udit who had raised hand who wanted to go next. So I'm going to do a check-in with Udit. Udit, are you still on?
Yes, I'm here. I'm
All
audible and
right. And
visible.
then after, yes, you are audible and you are now, you should be visible. You're not visible to me. Yes, you are Udit. Which number would you want to charm yourself through?
I will choose number 13.
Number 13, lucky number 13. Big, bold Rajni coming for you at number 13. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life. Udit, the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life.
Mind is the greatest asset we human beings have. And this is quite apt thought that qualities of our thinking determine the quality of our life. As I recently read in my last book, that to imbibe any habit, it took us 66 days. So that thinking process, we have to be mentally strong to think and to change our life. Like there's a very famous thought, day one or one day. We have to choose, we have to think about it, whether and it is very quiet with our theme of the day, fearlessness. We have to think, we have to give it enough thought that what we want to do, and it is up to every thought of our life, whatever we want to achieve, whatever we want to imbibe as a human being, whatever we want to take the future, it all depends on our thinking, our mind. So let me share one more thought from a book which I read recently, 5 AM Club, which says all changes are messy at the first. They are good at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous in the end. That means we have to train our mind to be the best we can. So, and to do that, we have to think, and thinking is our greatest asset we have. Back to your table topic, Master.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I especially like the comment around how the stages of development are there. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm going to wait for the screen to come up. Here I have, and Nasreen, you have volunteered. Which topic would you want to choose, or which Rajni interests you today?
Hello, good evening, Toastmaster Hina. I will select number 2.
Rajni, the fearless Rajni at number 2. And let's see what his advice. Move in silence. Only speak when it's time to say checkmate. Move in silence, Nasreen, and only speak when it's time to say checkmate. Over to you, Nasreen.
Thank you. It's a very lovely topic. I believe that silence is golden. But in our society, when we see that always silence is not golden, we have to be we have to make balance about that. I read one story that what is the silence? Silence. One boy was there, and one person lost his watch in a field. Then that there were many boys, but all boys couldn't find. But one small boy, he did a trick. He just closed his eyes and just he was sitting in the silence. And in silence, he listened sound. So what he heard in the silence? The goal which he was setting to find a clock. And he got a click of the watch. And he gone to that direction and he found that watch. So that is the magic of silence. When we have to be silent, and then when we have to speak. If we want to go against with someone, it's necessary to fight for ourselves and fight for others. To save others' life, we have to speak also. So, but if you are silent, then you will speak in brilliant way. So both are very important. And like you said in your topic, in checkmate. So we have to play chess very smartly. So when we are taking our moves, we have to take silently and we have to judge our opposite person. And at the last, you beat him by checkmate, and then you will win over. Over to you, Toastmaster Hina.
Thank you so much, Nasreen, for that. That was definitely a very good take on this. Especially, I like the fact. Oops, sorry, that was. Just a minute. Some glitch on my part. Just give me a minute. Oops. Sorry for the glitch then, Nasreen. Thank you so much on sharing that wonderful insight. Especially, I love the fact that sometimes it's important to even speak up, especially if it is to protect others. This will be the last one, and we are just in time. So, Samridhi, you have the option to choose one last number, and we would wrap the session after you.
Ina, I would just like to confirm, is there any other Samriddhi or are you speaking of me?
I can see a Samridhi Garg who's raised hand, so surely you, Samridhi.
I had raised prior, actually. I forgot to raise it down. No.
Okay. Are you still interested in the topic?
Yes. I would go with it.
All right. Sure.
So I would go for number 11.
All right. That's our dreamy looking Rajni. I live for myself. I don't care about anybody, but I respect everybody. Samriddhi, I live for myself. I don't care about anybody, but I respect everybody.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hina, for giving me this topic. So I live for myself. Could you just repeat it once?
I live for myself. I don't care for anyone, but I respect everyone.
So here is a small incident I would just like to share with you all. As many of you might be knowing, I am a chartered accountant. So while I was my chartered, I gave one attempt, so I didn't clear. So while I was taking taking another attempt at my final exam, so there was everybody around that you can't do it, that you should not be taking all the exams in one go. So I was trying to respect, yes, I will try to do this, but I didn't care. I had resolved that I will do it, and I tried to make it up to reach to my final destination. I did respect everybody's opinion. Yes, you might be right, but I think as far as my studies are concerned, I know myself, I know my caliber, and I know my potential as to how I can fare. I think that's all I have to say. Nothing much. Thank you, Toastmaster. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Samriddhi, and especially the fact that you know your caliber and you know where your strengths are, and you're living your dream and you're living for yourself. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in this high energy Rajni special fearless table topic. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the day. And we will take our polls as we transition.
Wow, what a beautiful table topic sections. Now, it's time to bring back the general evaluator who has been avidly listening to all of us to share her valuable feedback. Over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. And with this, we land to the most important segment, that is evaluations. I will state my detailed evaluation for everyone at the end. So to spare ahead the process, let's first begin with my speech evaluators. I will call upon my first evaluator, Toastmaster Samridhi, on stage very quickly.
Hello, everyone. So confidence is not they will like me. Confidence is I'll be fine if they don't. I could really feel this quote when Toastmaster Eshvary came today to deliver the speech. I was really impressed by a voice modulation throughout the speech, specifically the incident when you shared about the students at Jindal Modern School while they were talking about some trips their parents had or anything like that. Your stage appearance and hand gestures as a first-time speaker, I must say, are commendable. Coming to the structure of the speech, I could relate and I could feel a timeline in your speech. But as we all yearn to excel at this art of public speaking, I felt when you were concluding the speech, you rushed. I felt the delivery at which you were delivering earlier was slow, and then I don't know what happened, you just saw the green card and you rushed. I would just challenge you to work there, and I would challenge you to use some props and maybe stand and deliver when you deliver the speech the second time. And we really look forward to hear from you more. And I think you really took this courageous step today and you excelled at it. I was totally able to relate to my icebreaker speech today, but I think you did a wonderful job. Best of luck for your further speeches. That's all from my side. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Samridhi. Now I call upon my second evaluator on stage, Toastmaster Haritika.
Madam General Evaluator. First, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Arunima Bindal for completing her level 1. And now, her speech was very informative. She explained 5S in detail, and I got to know so many things from her speech. She shared her own story and connected it with what she was saying, and it was very good, and also shared some examples from her professional life also. So it was also commendable. Now, to take her speech to the next level, she could also share the source of information, because it was the most important part of the speech of research and presentation. She could also share that she also I felt like she also missed eye contact and in between, and it was looking like she was trying to read her speech from the screen. And the next recommendation is her hand gestures were not in line with what she was saying. She was saying incoming and outgoing. So both the times she used incoming and outgoing. For outgoing, she also used this. So her hand gestures were sometimes not in line with what she was trying to say, but her she was loud and clear. So in order to summarize, it was very informative speech. She shared her own story and connected with that. She was loud and clear. She needs to share the source of information, missed eye contact, and working on her hand gestures, she can take the speech to the next level. And that was from my side. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Haritika. With this, I call upon my third evaluator on stage, Toastmaster Manisha. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. The project's objective was for the speaker to inspire the audience. In narrating her story of transitioning from 75 kgs to 50 kgs, Sonali kept the audience, one, engaged with the reality of her story. I loved how this wasn't the story of a celebrity, a life coach, or any famous person for that matter. This was the story of the speaker, and it got as real as it progressed. It's easier for the audience to connect and feel inspired when they know that the speaker herself has lived through the story that she is talking about. I could notice members from the audience appreciate and connect with her by sharing their reactions using Zoom features. So Sonali, full marks for audience engagement. Every time I watched this reel or story on Instagram, I wondered how these people are sharing the pictures of going from this to that, but not saying a word about the how behind that. I loved how the speaker chose a very hot topic and added life to it by sharing the nitty-gritties of her stories and giving it a how. Needless to mention, sharing the pictures in the background was a highlight and added another height to her speech quality. I also felt that the tone and volume of the speaker throughout her speech were very smartly used. Particularly, I liked how the speaker repeated some words at specific instances to create more impact. One thing that the speaker could work on is the speed of the delivery of her speech. while I loved the enthusiasm of the speaker on stage, I would suggest her to be a little mindful of the speed at which the speech is progressing so that it doesn't feel like the speaker is rushing through to tell her story. Overall, I loved how the speaker was a ball of energy on stage. The speech was so well structured. And finally, how well she engaged with the audience. Kudos to Sonali for delivering a wonderful speech and inspiring so many of us on a Sunday afternoon. Good work and all the best to you for your upcoming projects. Thank you, and over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manisha. With this, let us now have the poll for Best Evaluator. Thank you, Techmaster. Now, continuing my story. Fortunately, today I am a national swimmer and thankfully can save any one of you from drowning. So that very day, I was forced to face my fear, and in the process, I learned to embrace my fear. I would now provide a quick evaluation for the table topic speakers who overcame their fear of hesitation today. And I must say, it was a sheer privilege to hear you all speak. Starting with speaker one, the King Rupinder Singh. One thing I'd love to appreciate that you laid the premise before you start with the real content related to the topic. It also allows you to structure your thoughts at the back of your mind. So encourage everyone to try that. Second, personal examples, always a good way to elicit engagement from audience. Speaker 2, Padma, you took the Thalaiva title very seriously. The whole speech featured Rajnikant's style, and I absolutely got carried away, and I'm sure the audience got carried away as well. Here's a catch. If you can add non-verbal gestures like expressions, your vocal variety, etc., you nail 70% of your delivery, and so did our speaker Padma today. So try using the same, everybody. Speaker 3, Unique. I have been listing your table topics from a couple of meetings now. I definitely see a steep progress in the structure of your thoughts, as in I see you connecting the dots with opening, body, and conclusion in a very logical manner. Speaker number 4 was Surbhi. Surbhi, a perfect start. And why? Because you commenced with a rhetorical question. Element of personal story again in your speech, very relatable and inspiring. Content wise, brilliant content, and delivery was also very amazing. Speaker 5 was Deepika. Very smart example used. I must say, you got it right with expressing your thoughts in a table topic, talking about your experience in a table topic. So delivery wise, you started off very well. Just a small recommendation to have a well-rounded conclusion as well. So maybe work on your structure a little bit, but that will come with practice. Speaker 6 was Udit. First, a huge round of applause for the quote you remembered. I don't even remember what someone said to me an hour back. So your pick of words were appropriate and an interesting personal story added. So that was nicely portrayed. Our speaker 7 was Nasreen. Nasreen, I felt your speech was honest. I appreciate the examples you used in your content. I also feel you can play around the topic a little more. So you have that caliber in you, try to explore. Speaker 8 and our last table topic speaker was Samridhi. Samridhi, you seemed very comfortable on the stage while speaking, so that aura was created. Content-wise, you had an opinion. I just recommend you to add more examples to back it up so that it creates a conviction. With this, I would now request my tag team to present their report. So I'll start with my grammarian, Toastmaster Ayushi. Please, can we have you on stage?
Hello, everyone. Today, I was very delighted to hear all of you, and it was a wonderful day as a grammarian. Now, I will highlight some vows and some of the good words that was used by the speakers. As Sergeant at Arms used the word esteemed guest, TMOD and the theme itself had a very good word like contemplating. The speakers also used some very good words such as destiny managed to eat me, notorious, and fellow hunters. Our table topic master, Hina, used the phrase fearless tribes of Toastmasters. Our table topic speakers were wonderful. I'd start with Rupinder. He used like few good words like cultivate, iron hand, firmly believe and assert. Padma used the word enthrall. Unique used the word intrinsic. Surbhi used the word technical arena. And our journal evaluator used a very good word like sheer privilege. There were few of the things that we can improve on. The first is the past and the present tense. One of the speaker used the words, boy closed his eyes. It has to be boy closed his eyes. Another speaker used the word, I was failing in planning. It has to be, I failed in planning. I was yearning that many people will use the word of the day, but it was only used by the one speaker, Eshvary. So kudos to you for using the word. And that's all about my report. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator Raghu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayushi. And next, I welcome on stage our Toastmaster Rama, who played our counter today. Over to you, Rama.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Now, I would like to quickly share my screen to give comprehensive report of our counter. All the speakers, please take a note of your R's and Ms that you used. Now, I would like to appreciate those who spoke flawlessly, including, you can see in green highlights, Haritika, Sonali, Samridhi, Manisha, Hina, Rupinder, Padma, and Samridhi. Now coming to the yellow zone, all the speakers who are in yellow zone, though they also spoke flawlessly, but Nimi's had 2 R's and 2 repetitions. Rajesh had 4 so, Ragini had 1 R and 2 repetitions. Ayushi had 2 R's and Eshvary had 2 repetitions. Arunima had 2 R's. Sonali had 1 repetition. Haritika had 3 R's and 1 repetition. And Uniqe had 9 R's. Surbhi had 3 R's. Deepika had 4 R's. Udit had 2 R's. And Samridhi had 1 repetition. Thank you so much. Over to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rama. With this, I would like to hand over the stage to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Urfia, for displaying her timer report.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. As a theme today, fearless, I decided to tackle my fear and try something new with my report. I tried being more comprehensive with my report and tying to every single role player in the meeting today. So I have divided, as you can see on the screen, my report into 3 sections as we had throughout the meeting. First section, you can refer to the report for your respective timings. First section has timings for the Sergeant at Arms, TMOD, Presiding Officer, GE, then followed by the prepared speech round, wherein I have timed the speakers as well as their evaluators. If you see on these columns, it is the time that was allotted, and this column specifies the time taken by the respective role player. Moving on to the second session, it was the table topics round. Herein we have 8 speakers and their respective timings. Again, these columns represent the times that were allotted. Today we had a really good meeting. Mostly all of us were within the times that were allotted to us. Moving on to our third section, that was the evaluation section. Herein I have the evaluators as well as the other tag role players, Grammarian counter. Though we took a little, we went a little over time with our table topics session by a few minutes, I think 6 minutes. But according to the agenda, the timers should have had the stage at 3:04, which is exactly right now. So I think we made up the timings while in our evaluations. So we are on time as per the agenda. This is the report. Thank you so much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Urfia. Now talking about fiascos and successes in the meeting today, my evaluation for the meeting and role play goes in a sequential order. I'll try to be very quick. First, Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms commenced. Let's please cast our vote for auxiliary role play very quickly. Thank you, Tech Master. Moving on, Sergeant at Arms commenced the meeting spot on time. Club mission statement and ground rules were properly read by the Sergeant at Arms. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rajesh, a big round of applause for driving us to a much needed introspection through this theme. I could sense enhancement in your speech delivery as a facilitator and also commend you to keep a strong hold on time. Table topic master, I'll state one thing today. As impromptu it is for the table topic speakers, if not as much, but to much level, it is also the same for a table topic master, because one has to engender that encouragement throughout with impromptu comments and while calling for volunteers. So kudos to the table topic master there. Hina, you completely ruled my heart with your interesting topics, very well chosen. And why? Because they were very generic and people enjoyed while expressing. So that concludes. Now, commendations for the trio speech evaluators. First and foremost, evaluator Samridhi, who played the role for the first time. I like the perspective you stated and attention to very keen details of the speaker. So very well done. The rest of the two, being experienced, Toastmaster Manisha and Toastmaster Haritika, were to the point. Meaningful commendations and recommendations. I hope it was immensely helpful for the speakers as well. So no specific recommendations here from my end. Coming to my tag team, timer, I liked the creative element added, the color coding, very innovative. Congratulations. Our counter report was detailed. You set an encouraging tone overall, as always. Just when you're already sharing the screen and displaying the report, you can simply speak the highlights in interest of time. So this is one. Lastly, grammarian role was very well explained. Word of the day was explained verbally as well as through the chat box. And it was an encouraging and a detailed report. Overall, the meeting was conducted very smoothly. Thank you. And at last, as my favorite school prayer goes, hum honge kamyab ek din, while in English goes as we shall overcome one day. So always remember that, and all the very best to all of you. With this note, I would now hand over the stage back to my Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rajesh.
Thank you, General Evaluators. Having said that, I must tell you that all I have researched enough to be able to tell. Here is two meanings. One, forget everything and run. Or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. With this, I am handing over the stage to the presiding officers. Thank you. Over to you, presiding officers.
Wow, definitely, I'm sure we have got that insight about fear today, and it is not about forgetting everything and running. On that note, let us first of all vote for the best role player among the Toastmaster of the day, Rajesh, Table Topics Master Hina, and then General Evaluator Ragini. And as we do that, I would like to congratulate all the role players today for the very first meeting of Spearhead, making it very, very successful. And whether we are successful today or not, let us have a quick check with our guest today. starting with Akos Mensa. I think she has been a very silent audience today, so let's give her a chance to speak now. And how you found the meeting today, Akos? All right, I think I'm
I
not
don't
able
think
to.
she's
Yeah.
there.
So let
Guests,
us.
stick around. We are going to have the award ceremony. We are also going to have a surprise evaluation. So,
Okay, I think Akos is here, so let me have.
Yes, I was struggling to unmute because there was a poll on the screen to vote. Thank you all. It was a great meeting and I enjoyed visiting. I'll definitely come back again. Is this a weekly meeting? Because it's convenient for me. It's 10 a.m. my time, so it'd be lovely to come and join you and be a regular visiting Toastmaster.
Yes, we would definitely would like to have you again. And to answer you, yes, it is a weekly meeting. We meet at the same time every Sunday, and the details would be shared with you very shortly over the chat, and you can take a note of it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I
And
enjoyed
looking for
it.
yes, thank you very much, and looking forward to hear you next time in the table topics. We also have distinguished Toastmaster Padamkumar with us. So let us have your words, please.
And what do I say? You guys are sharp as a spear, intelligent as a wise head, and Spearhead is always an innovative way to brand ourselves. I think you are doing a great job, and I wish the new club all success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Padma sir, for your blessings and wishes. And I'm sure just as a spearhead, we act like a spearhead does and be successful. Now let us move on to the next guest. We have Toastmaster Kalpana.
Hello. It is a pleasure joining and attending the meeting of the Spearhead. Now it's called Spearhead. Last time I was the grammarian here. I had a fantastic learning moment here. And today, just being an audience, it was lovely. It was really, really lovely. I don't have words to explain. It's indescribable because the energy I found here and this top masters, Toastmaster Rupinder, Toastmaster Padma, I've never met them, but heard so much about them. They are masterpiece, I tell you. And you have got to learn so much. And the energy they bring to the club, to the meeting, it's amazing. I'm truly motivated. And thanks to you, maybe I'll be joining if I don't have something, very like a strong commitment. Not on the Sunday afternoons. I'll be definitely a part of this wonderful club. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kalpana, for your words and feedback. And we'll definitely would like to have you back and probably with as a member as well. Let us move on to Deepika.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Nimit. So I very much echo with what guest Kalpana just mentioned. So the energy is very high in this club and everybody speaks very well. And we have quite veteran people out there like Rupinder sir, guest Padma also joined us this time. So yes, and other speakers as well. So I'm looking forward to learn from each one of you and join the club as early as possible. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And all these kind of feedbacks and words definitely motivate us to keep getting better and better. Next, we have Nasreen.
Hi everyone. It was very, very brilliant, nice, and you all are very brilliant. And professionally, you are handling this all things. I will say it's my pleasure to attend this meeting. This is my second meeting, and I would like to attend next one also. Superb job, guys.
Thank you very much, Nasreen. And for everyone's benefit, we have shared the guest WhatsApp group so that you can stay updated with all the upcoming events and meetings of this group. right? So you can follow us there. Next, we have Surbhi Mittal from Ludhiana.
Am I audible?
Yes, Surbhi, please go on.
Yeah, so firstly, I'd like to mention that there were things that I wanted to, I talked to Hina ma'am about, and I guess all my doubts are cleared while having this meeting and joining it. All the members, Rupinder sir, Padma sir, like the energy that you guys have and the way you deliver your speech, and to all the other speakers as well, the command that you have on your language, and I really feel that there's so much to learn. And yeah, I would love to be a member of this group, and definitely I am seeking to attend more meetings, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Surbhi, and we look forward to have you once again and every time. And I think we are done with the guests, but I will not go without asking the feedback of our newest member to the club. So let us welcome Kanika Dalmia. How was your experience, Kanika, today?
Kanika, you have to unmute yourself for that to work. I think she stepped away from the screen.
Okay, never mind. We'll have her feedback later. So I'll have a quick check with Rupinder if the results are ready and the certificates are ready, and we are ready to reveal who are the best players today.
The certificates are ready, Nimit, but before that, I would request the timer to time me for one last time for 2 to 3 minutes, because Hina today gave her active listening project, and I would like to evaluate her with your permission. Timer, are you ready? Timer,
Yes.
are you even there? Okay, great. Let me start with the evaluation. The time starts now. Hina, one of the most difficult things to do is to listen, because when we mention on job descriptions that we require people with excellent communication skills, or when a job description says that we need a person with excellent communication skills, we often forget that the most important part of communication is listening. And that is not a problem with you at all, because today you demonstrated some excellent listening skills. Let me tell you what else I liked. I liked the way how you engaged the audience with well thought out content, with that consistent smile, with that vocal empathy that you created with the audience. I like the giggles that you created, and you kept it very conversational. I would love to do a table topics master role like that. I also liked your topics, the way you listened so very actively. Now, where can we improve? Because the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement, and I will not fit inside that. Where the first point of improvement, Hina, is when you were using the slides. There was an ever so very minor the challenge with the eye contact. So you were looking at the screen, then you were looking up, then you were looking at your slides again. I would suggest next time do not use slides, because I want you making eye contact. You have excellent vocal connect. You have excellent listening skills. Bring your eyes into the picture with that beautiful smile, and it will be a complete package. The second thing, I felt that you got too carried away with Rajnikant. It was almost as if it was some childhood fantasy that came alive and you wanted to just go gaga over Rajnikant today. Having said that, today you demonstrated how an active listening project should be done. Today you showed us the value of a smile, of vocal empathy, and of connecting with the audience. You really connected. The audience hung on to every word that you were saying. Just work on one, eye contact, and two, just work on not getting carried away by the subject. Or an honor to be evaluating you, and I will look forward to your next role with enthusiasm. Thank you so very much. With that, I will now start sharing my screen. And ladies and gentlemen, can we have some drum rolls today, please? Because it is a momentous occasion. We, Spearhead Toastmasters, is going to present its certificates for the first time today. And let's see who are the lucky winners. So starting with our top 3 table topic speakers. And our table topic speaker number 3, and the person to get first certificate in the first meeting of Spearhead Toastmasters, club number 07901096, area M1, district 41, region 13, Toastmasters International, is Udit Midha. Woohoo! The person who got the second best speaker, I will not bore you with the details about the area, the district, and the universe. Happens to be the exact opposite of Sonali. He can actually motivate Sonali to get back to 75 kilos. Many congratulations, Rupinder Singh. The best table topic speaker in the first meeting of Spearhead Toastmasters actually taught me how to pronounce the word saliva. Many congratulations. Yes, Padamkumar. Great job done there. Now, as I move on to the best speech evaluator, I will tell you that it was not an easy contest. It was very close, but there has to be one winner. And our winner for today, Manisha Sabharwal. Excellent. Manisha, honestly, I saw you about 2 or 3 years ago. I'm seeing you today. Massive change. Great job done. Kudos to your mentor. And you also. Okay. The best auxiliary role player. Well, consistent smile and an excellent report, a new type of a report. And when you bring all of those together, obviously, it will go to our timer. Urfia Abdul, great job done there. And coming to the best role player, well, I can tell you, it's a female. I can tell you, she's not my mentee. I can tell you, I evaluated her. Many congratulations, Ina Verma. Great job done. The best speaker for today. I did not like her speech because it was about how to get to how many kilos did you lose? I really don't care. I'll get you back to 75. Sonali Kathuria, great job done. Wonderful speech. And I will close with that. I think this is just the beginning. Just keep today's meeting as a benchmark, people. Already 2 people have shown interest to join. And let each meeting be better than the last. That is my challenge to this club. Thank you very much. And I am so proud to be a Spearhead Toastmaster. We spearheaded excellence today.
Thank you, Rupinder, for sharing with us who the winners were. And I congratulate once again to all the deserving winners. And I must also congratulate to all the people present today and showcasing your support and encouragement to the first meeting of Spearhead Toastmasters. On that note, I would just like to just share that I have also posted the details of our next meeting, and the WhatsApp group details also have been shared with you already. So let us meet once again next week. And before that, I say bye to the YouTube audience and stop the live stream.